I believe we should go to the moon.
It's one small step
It
for
will
man,
not be one man, it will be an entire nation.
one giant leap for mankind.
This summer marking the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 mission, and the first man to walk on the moon grew up right here in Northwest Ohio.
Neil Armstrong was from Wapakoneta. The city is also home to a museum that celebrates Armstrong and all the other Ohio connections to the space program. 13 ABC's Lisa Guyton joins us with the inspirational story.
The first man to walk on the moon
Bill is now unveiling the plaque.
took his very first steps as a child here in Northwest Ohio.
He went to church here. He was in the Boy Scouts here. He learned to fly here before he learned to drive a car.
Many of the people who knew Neil Armstrong and his family still call Wapakoneta home.
I must say that I've never met a more intelligent person than Mr. Armstrong.
John Suez dedicated his career to keeping Neil's story alive. He's a retired director of the Armstrong Air and Space Museum.
Wouldn't be unusual. Every once in a while I'd be sitting in my office, I hear a knock on the door, and it would be Mr. Armstrong stopping in.
The museum has an impressive collection that focuses on Armstrong's career, as well as the many Ohio connections to the American space program.
So many things came from Ohio or started in Ohio that you could trace as having successful parts of the space program.
Just imagine, within 60 miles, we have the Wright brothers and the first man to step foot on the moon. In about 60 years' time, 60 miles. To me, that blows my mind, too.
While most of the items in the collection here focus on the past, the goal is to make sure this museum is relevant for generations to come.
I was born the same year as NASA.
Greg Brown started at the museum as a volunteer. He's now the experience coordinator.
This is my happy place. It's a wonderful place to be. You know, we feel like we can educate and inspire the public, hopefully all age groups, but we really essentially want to reach the young people.
Years after Armstrong's death, the impact of his life is still a critical part of this community.
It just seems so, remarkable the way the elements of Neil Armstrong are so closely woven in the fabric of this community, but not in a boastful way.
So the next time you look up at the night sky and see the moon, you'll know the story of how a boy from Wapakoneta's dreams helped change the world.
It came in peace for all mankind.
Lisa Guyton, 13 ABC, Action News.
And join 13 ABC on July 17th for One Small Step as we celebrate the contributions from Northwest Ohio that helped mankind reach the moon, and we look to the discoveries that lie ahead.